continue with the chapter from where it stopped. So now, if only Peggy would decide of her own accord to stop having fun with Wenda. So now what was the problem? That if she said anything, they would make fun of her. So the best thing was, if Peggy would herself stop making fun of Wanda, then it would be okay. Oh well, oh well, Maddie ran her hand through her short blonde hair as though to push the uncomfortable thoughts away. So now she was not okay, and she just put her hands in the hair, and she thought that all the uncomfortable thoughts that were coming would just leave. What difference did it make? What difference did it make? What difference did it make? Slowly, Maddie tore into bits the note she had started. Now, she decided to write a note, but then again she thought that it would create problem for herself. So what did she do? She tore that note into small bits, and she was not prepared to give it to Maggie. She was Maggie's best friend, and Peggy was the best liked girl in the whole room. Peggy could not possibly do anything that was really wrong, she thought. And what did she think? That she is my best friend, how can I give her this note? And she is the best girl in the school, the best girl in the class, and she is not wrong. And how can she be wrong? As for Wenda, she was just some girl who lived up in Bogginside. And then she thought that who is Wenda actually for me? She is nobody. She lives in Bogginside. I don't know her well also. But Peggy is my best friend. And stood alone in the schoolyard. And she was alone in the schoolyard. She scarcely ever said anything to anybody. She never spoke to anybody. The only time she talked was in the schoolyard about her 100 dresses. And only thing that she talked in the school was about the 100 dresses. Maddie remembered her telling about one of her dresses, pale blue with colored trimming, and the only thing that was the same old pale blue dress with the little bit of trimming done on it. And she remembered another that was brilliant jungle green with a red sash, and the other dress she sometimes talked about was it was green colored with a red sash on it. You'd look like a Christmas tree in that, the girls had said in pretending admiration, means not real admiration. And they used to say that if you'll wear this green and red, you'll look like a Christmas tree. And they used to make fun of the girl. Thinking about Wenda and her 100 dresses all lined up in the closets, Maddie began to wonder who was going to win the drawing and coloring contest. Now there was a drawing and coloring contest in the class. She started thinking of that who's going to win this contest. For girls, this contest consisted of designing dresses, and for boys of designing motorboats. So for girls, the competition was to draw different kinds of dress, and for the girls and for the boys, it was to draw motorboats. So that kind of a competition was held. Probably Peggy would win the girls medal, and Peggy was very famous and a very smart girl, so everybody thought that Peggy is going to win this medal this time also. Peggy drew better than anyone else in the classroom, and Peggy's drawing was perfect, so she used to draw very good drawings. So everybody knew that she's from the girls section she is going to win. At least that's what everybody thought, and everybody thought that Peggy is going to win the competition. She could copy a picture in a magazine of some film star's head so that you could almost tell who it was. And she used to draw so perfectly from a magazine that it would look just like the original picture. She used to, of any film star, she used to draw, it would be perfectly just like that. So she was very good at painting. Oh, Maddie was sure Peggy would win, and Maddie also thought that surely she is going to win. Tomorrow the teacher was going to announce the winner, then they would know. And tomorrow the teacher is going to give the result of the drawing competition, and everybody is going to know who has won the competition. The next day it was drizzling, means it was raining. lightly. That's called drizzling, not very heavy rain. Maddie and Peggy hurried to school under Peggy's umbrella. Naturally, on a day like this, they didn't wait for Venda Petrovsky on the corner of Oliver Street, the street that far away under the railroad track and up the hill led to Boggin's Height. Now every day they used to wait so that they could make fun of Venda, but today it was drizzling, it was raining, so they did not wait and they just hurried up to school. Anyway, they weren't taking chances of being late today because today was important, and they did not wanted to be late today because today the results were going to be announced, so they just ran away to school. Do you think Miss Mason will announce the winner today? Asked Peggy. So Peggy is asking that today Miss Mason, the class teacher, is going to announce the name. Oh, I hope so. The minute we get in, said Maddie. Of course, you will win, Pegs. And she said, yes, today, as we did the school, we will get the result, and obviously you are going to win, Peggy. Hope so, said Peggy eagerly, and Peggy also said, yes, hope so. The minute they entered the classroom, they stopped short and gasped. Means, as they entered the room, they were even surprised to see there were drawings all over the room, on every ledge and window sill, dazzling color and brilliant, lavish means very grand design, all drawn on great sheets of wrapping paper. So when they entered the class, the entire class was decorated with pictures. Everywhere pictures were hanging around in the class. There must have been 100 of them all lined up, and now there were 100 of drawings, all were lined up. Then these must be the drawings of the contest. So they started thinking that so many paintings are hanging around the room. These are the paintings that are for the competition. They must be drawing for the contest. They were, and yes, they were. Somebody stopped and whistled or murmured admiringly. As soon as the class was assembled, Miss Mason announced the winner. Jack Biggles had won the boys. So the class teacher came, Miss Mason, and announced the winners. And from the boys section, who had won the boy, a boy named Jack Biggles had won from the boys, she said, and his designs for an outboard motor was on exhibition in the room 12. But the competition the boy had won, and his drawing was not in their room right now. It was in room number 12. This classroom the children were studying was room number 13. So Miss said, the teacher said that his drawing is in room number 12, along with the sketches by all the other boys, and with the sketches of the other boys also, they are in room number 12. As for the girls, she said, although just one or two sketches were submitted by most, one girl, and room 13 should be proud of her. So the class teacher is saying that we should be proud of the girl who has done these drawings. This one girl actually drew 100 designs, and the entire class was full with the drawing of the girl. And Miss Mason is yet not announced the name, and she is saying that the single girl has given 100 drawings, submitted 100 drawings, and she has drew 100 drawings, all different and all beautiful. And she says that all of the 100 dresses are different and all are very beautiful. In the opinion of the judges, any one of the drawing is worth of winning a prize. And just imagine, out of 100 you can pick any, and that any picture from the 100, any one picture could win. All the 100 dresses were so beautifully drawn. I am very happy to say that Venda Petrovsky is the winner of girls medal, and the teacher announces the name now. that I am very happy that these 100 dresses are drawn by Wanda Petrovsky. But she was not present. Unfortunately, Wanda has been absent from school for some days, and it is not here, and she is not here to receive the applause that is due to her. And the teacher says that she is not present here, otherwise we would have given a good appreciation, we would have clapped for her, but unfortunately she is not present. Let us hope she will be back tomorrow. And the teacher says that let us hope that she will come to school tomorrow. Now class, you may file around the room quietly and look at her exquisite drawing. Exquisite means extremely beautiful, very well. And the teacher said that you all line up and you can see these 100 dresses. These are really very, very wonderful. The children burst into applause. So everybody burst into applause, means suddenly and spontaneously clapped their hands. Everybody started clapping. They were very happy. And even the boys were glad to have a chance to stamp on their floor. And the boys started stamping on their floor, making noise, put their fingers in their mouths and whistle. And the boys started whistling, though they were not interested in dresses. The boys got a chance just to shout. They were not interested in dresses to give her. So when the teacher said to applaud, they just started shouting. Look, Pegs, whispered Maddie. There's that blue one she told us about. Isn't it beautiful? So when these two girls saw, there was that blue dress also, and now she's telling her to Peggy. Maddie is telling, look, that blue dress she was talking about. She has even made the drawing of that blue dress. How beautiful the painting is. Yes, said Peggy. And here's that green one. And now she's telling that, see, look, here the green one is also present. Boy, and I thought I could draw. So the painting about the girl about which Wanda was talking, she had really drawn them. So here we come to the end of the first part of the chapter. Another part is also needed that we will go through in the next lecture. So thinking about the text on page number 70. I guess there are only 4 questions on page number 70. So just go through the lesson, read it twice and try to find out the answers and write down in your fair book too. So we'll meet again. What happened to Wanda Petrovsky? What was the climax of the chapter? Why didn't she come? What happened next? We'll do in the next lecture. Thank you.